Hi guys, and welcome back to the Black Gold Homestead.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Black Gold Homestead channel. In today's video I'm going to be
I'm going to give you a few fall updates here on the homestead and show you some things that are going on. And I'm also going to show you putting up corn hay for winter. But this is the flower bed that we have around the pond. And if you remember from the last video, these were really small and short. These are zinnias. And they're now coming into their prime, and they're looking really nice, and the pollinators have really been feeding on them a lot. So I'm very happy how they turned out in this spot this year. If you look below them, you'll also see that the sedum is in bloom too. Okay, now if you just follow me, you'll be able to see some more of them here that are blooming. You'll be able to see that we have some salvias blooming. Very small flowers on these ones, but still good for the pollinators. A black-eyed Susan. Our grasses are starting to get plumes, and I actually do something very special with these, which I'll show you in another video this fall. Our hostas are about done blooming, but there's still some flowers on them. The Rose of Sharon, there's some pollinators on. There's actually a bee back there right now. It's blooming. That's one that I'm growing from seed. And there's more hostas over there. So that's basically it for this bed. Now I'll go show you me putting up corn. Alright guys, we're back here in the vegetable garden if you want to come in a little closer. And what I've been doing is I've been cutting corn. This type of corn that I grow is an heirloom corn. It's a roasting type corn. And what we do is we ate the biggest ears, and there are still a couple that would be edible. Like for example, this ear here would still be okay for eating. But at this point in the year, what I'm doing is I'm cutting the stalks, and I'm gonna take them up in the barn to dry out. And we can use it during the winter for animal feed, which is how we do it here on the homestead. Now, there's a good bit of, the corn did fairly good this year. So what I just do is I take a pair of snips and I come in and I cut them off down at ground level and I lay them over. Like this. And as you can see, there's a decent amount of leaf on this corn, and that will dry out and basically become a hay for the animals to eat. And they really do like to eat this as a treat in addition to their regular hay during the winter. And because there's still some small corn kernels and corn cobs on it that we didn't eat ourselves, those can go to animal feed as well, and the animals can eat those. So what I do is I cut it like so, then I gather it up, and I pull it out here. I drop it in the driveway. And I got a bundle here. I'm going to try to do this 2 bundles at a time and see how well it works. There's 2 bundles. And like I said, this is good because here's some smaller ears that we didn't eat. And the animals really do enjoy eating this during the winter. And there's not a lot on it, but it's enough, you know, to have something in their stomach. I'll give that to them later. So what I'm gonna do now, like I said, is take this up in the barn. We don't have a lift or anything, so I kind of got to do it all by hand, but that's okay. I'm gonna have to do this 15 more times, approximately, maybe some more. Now for some more. As I was saying earlier, I take this corn and I feed it to the animals during the winter. And I haven't had a good crop of corn in a couple of years, but now that I have a good crop of it, I'm putting it up in the barn so I can feed it to the animals during the winter. And I'll also here soon be putting up some tree hay, hopefully, so we can feed that during the winter as well. And a lot of the garden is starting to finish up. I'll show you this as a quick update. This bed here was all squash and zucchini. That's about done. You can see there's one growing up the fence there that still has squash on it. And there's a couple of zucchinis back there, but most of them are done. And we also have some Swiss chard that's still doing really well, and our sweet potatoes will be ready to harvest soon. But the garden is starting to come to an end and harvest time is coming. So after I get the corn cut today, I'm gonna be starting to put manure back on this area. And I also want to talk about that while I cut the corn. I don't fertilize my garden per se because I put manure on it. The manure is the fertilizer. And I put manure on it once, sometimes even twice a year. And it's not even exactly manure. I use manure mixed with hay so it starts to compost. And I use that from my animals. But it makes all the crops grow really well, and I don't ever have to worry about fertilizing anything. But that's what I'll be doing next because there's some bare soil here, and I'm gonna wanna get that covered back up as quickly as possible so that nothing leaches out of the garden.
This is Blue's, Harper's baby. We finally caught him. He was running around loose for a while.
What? Are you making a video?
This is Mavis. She was in the pen where we sometimes put rabbits to let them get some grass, and she got loose, so she might be pregnant, but we're not sure yet. She might be pregnant by Blue's. We're still unsure. An update on these guys, on Kenny, Dolly, Miley, and Patsy. They're doing good. Here's Ginger and her baby Fudge, and then Fudge's brother's in another pen. Here's Sassy. This is our new rabbit setup, so all of their manure can drop straight down instead of getting stuck on wood. So we have up in the air, and it can hold 8 rabbits, but right now we only have 4 on here. Here are the doves. They're doing good. We'll be putting them in a bigger pen soon. This is Peaches. He is the father of Pepper and Fudge.
Alright, so I got this first section of corn cut. I already have some up in the barn drying that we just picked earlier this morning. And now I am starting to do more runs, and I'm taking this up in the barn. And like I said, the animals love to eat this during the winter. So it makes great animal feed. And I just take a rope, I double it up, and I pull it tight, like that, and off we go. Alright, so if you are watching this, and you have any questions about what we're doing on the homestead, and how we do it, and why we do it, or you want to learn anything, please feel free to ask us. If we don't answer the questions in a video, or we haven't answered them in a video that we've already made, we can try to make a video to answer the questions, or we can answer your questions in the comments section. If you like seeing what we do here on our homestead, then please don't forget to hit the like button, like our videos, and subscribe to our channel. Alrighty. While I'm about to lash up this next bundle of corn to take it up in the barn, I wanted to show you this area right here. We have some volunteer pumpkins growing here, but the thing is, we used to have, a couple years ago, a clump of Jerusalem artichokes here, and they can get up to 15 feet tall. We tilled the plants over when we did the garden, and there were still some tubers left in the ground. Which, if you're not familiar with the Jerusalem artichoke, this is what they look like. They managed to survive the tilling and they came back. They're really short this year, but they are getting buds on them. And they are a super great feed. The rabbits can eat the leaves, the goats can eat the leaves, they can eat the stems, and they get big tubers on them, very deep into the ground, huge tubers that the goats can eat, the rabbits can eat, a lot of the animals can eat it, and it helps to get them through the winter months. And they're extremely productive plants. They're in the sunflower family, and they get sunflowers on the tops of them. But like I said, this little patch here is really short. I think it's due to the trees and the corn shading them. But the other ones over there, which we'll show you in a minute, are doing much better. y'all look across the garden, you might be able to see that we have another patch of corn there. That is, some of it's going for seed saving, and some of that corn is Native American corn. So I'm not collecting it yet because I'll have to let it dry on the plant in order to seed save off of it. Heavy. Stay through them. So we got the corn hay up here. Now I can start the drying process. We've got some in this corner, and I gotta lay more on.
One of her cast mittens. She likes to climb up ladders.
All right guys, so now that we've gotten the corn hay up in the barn, I want to talk about alternative livestock feed. Because if you think about it, a lot of people feed their animals corn. And that is a staple that a lot of animals eat, I would say. But at the same time, people overlook different parts of the corn plant. But for some reason, a lot of people overlook the other parts of the corn plant. Like the stalk and the tassels on the top and the leaves are all edible. And that shouldn't be going to waste. And it's important for me to save it to feed the animals. Now I also want to talk about squash. Squash, these are winter squash here. I planted one butternut squash and it has grown into this whole area. It was one little bed here and it's grown into the grass some now. But winter squash keep for long periods of time, and they can also be used to feed animals. The chickens can eat it and the goats can eat on them too. But this plant is still setting fruit. I don't know if all of them will mature before winter comes, fall comes, but there's some squash. This is some type of heirloom butternut squash that I grow. But you can see two little squashes here. And it has larger ones that are mature and almost ready to harvest. So that's something you can grow to feed your animals, is squash. You can grow corn. They last a long time. You can save them for the animals to eat. You can also grow carrots. Carrots can usually store in the ground. You can grow them to feed to your animals during the winter. Now I want to talk about the Jerusalem artichokes. You can see that there are some right there. That's a bigger patch. That patch was transplanted there from tubers this spring off of another patch that I used to have. And they are very tall plants. They have a lot of greens on them. And they will be good to feed the goats once they've died back and it's just brown leaves left. Here's a smaller row that I planted. And if you look up at the top, they're setting buds, so they'll be blooming soon. But there's a lot of branches in here that I could technically thin right now. These are all young
suckers that are coming off. And I can, if I wanted to, cut these off right now and use them for animal feed. And we're gonna do that right now. We're just gonna cut a couple off of these little suckers, and I'm gonna show you how much the animals enjoy eating these Jerusalem artichokes. Okay, so I've picked a couple of Jerusalem artichoke stems here, and as you can see, I got the stems, and they're still green, and there's a lot of leaves, and these are good to feed to the goats, and the goats really enjoy them, and I'm going to show you right now how much they like them. Goats! Come on! There you go. There you go. There you go. Donkeys eat them too. There you go. So, I hope to do a video soon on Jerusalem artichokes this fall once they die back. I want to talk all about the tubers, and I kind of want to do a growing guide for them. But if you want to learn more, you can always look it up online, and they're a great crop to grow. Super easy, super hardy. You can't kill them. They grow like weeds, and they are so versatile on the homestead. Two other crops that I have a lot of, and they're actually flowers. I grow a lot of echinacea, also known as coneflower. I feed those leaves to the rabbits, and they're an herb, so they help with different things, and they're really good for the rabbits, and the rabbits love them. And I also grow comfrey, which I feed to the animals. So thank you for watching this video. Like I said, if you have any questions, let me know. I hope you just like kind of seeing what we were doing, putting the corn up to save it for animal feed this winter. I hope you liked what I gave you, the update on the flower bed around the pond. And if you like the videos and what you're seeing, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you and have a great day.